What's up, y'all? And I'm back with another video. I know y'all probably like, where you been?
Hey, bitch.
And to answer that question, for the ones that don't know, I recently lost my grandfather and my auntie. And then also, the same following week, I was in a car crash with my mom. Injuries weren't too minor, but we did sustain a few injuries. I sustained a concussion. My mom sustained a crack to her pelvis. So we, in a time where I've been not posting, I have took these past 4 months from the last upload. The first month I was actively going back and forth seeing both of them. Didn't know. With my grandfather, I kind of knew because we knew he had been on and off sick for the past couple of years, and he would always, get really sickly. And then, he would get better, but we could tell it was just like, that, type of situation. So we didn't really say nothing because he didn't say nothing, but this last time you could tell that it really, had got serious, and it was only, like a matter of time. Because we started noticing he was getting sleepy a lot. Like he would, when he would like normally he'll walk around like the pasture and stuff and feed like his horses and stuff, but he would just be falling asleep in the cars, and then he started to like pass out and stuff, which is a whole nother thing. But it was just like signs. We started noticing as it kept going on and going on, he couldn't stay awake long. He started having more, episodes. He would be complaining about like his back and stuff hurting, so it was just a lot. So we watched closely, on him. And then with my aunt, she always had like a weak immune system, which I have a weak immune system too. So I always thought, she would always, be coughing, and stuff like really congested. Like I said, she had a weak immune system. And so we didn't really think it was nothing that bad. She did have breast cancer before in 2018, but she ended up beating that. So that really wasn't, something that we thought happened again, because she was going regularly. Well, to our knowledge, she told us that she was still going regularly to do her cancer treatments, and also making sure that everything was okay. And she didn't ever say anything to us about it. Of course, neither did he. Of course, you don't want to worry people in situations like that, so I kind of understand why they kept it a secret. You don't want your loved ones to go through that. So around the time that we noticed with him, he started falling more and passing out more. And so we started going to see him. Like I said, I don't know if I said it before in previous videos, he stayed like in Kyville, so we would go and see him back and forth, making sure he was good. He went to the hospital a couple of times, but to our knowledge, he was going to get better. We knew that it was that type of situation. And I'm sorry, if I'm kind of rambling or stumbling over my words, I'm really trying to articulate this in the best way I can without getting emotional. So bear with me, y'all. But it was like, it was hope that he would get better. So we knew he had to like get a blood transfusion. But every time the blood transfusion, wears off and the blood is gone, he would get worse. So this last time we had kind of, pieced together and, thought that, okay, he definitely has some type of cancer, something that he doesn't want nobody to know of. And we theorized it was like blood cancer because his white blood cells were attacking his red blood cells. So, that was that. And then with my aunt, it really wasn't like I said with her, it was just like, she's always been noticed to call, but lately getting close to it, she started getting more sicker. I started noticing she was slowing down, and just, you could tell it was like a difference, like with her. Getting close to his last few days, like I said, he was bedridden, so he was just in the bed, like he wouldn't eat. Like he would eat for us while we were there, but he wasn't like eating, like that, and other things. And then with her, she would still eat like a little bit, like it was like with her it was kind of like normal, but for him it was like you couldn't really tell. I'm sorry. Where with her it's like you really weren't expecting it. It was like a slow burn. Like she was still able to function somewhat normalcy with him. It was to the point where you could tell, like, yeah, it's something pretty bad. Like you was just prepared at that point, for the best or the worst case scenario. The last couple of days, he was just like, he was doing better, and that was the last blood transfusion. This was in June, by the way. I'm sorry if I didn't mention it. This was in June, and the whole month of June, we were going back and forth to check on him. So with her getting close to her passing, she couldn't sleep. She had fluid, her legs had swelled up with fluid so bad, to the point where they was just really thick, and it was, like I said, it was uncomfortable for her to sleep. So she was just like, I don't know. She was like, I don't really know what's going on. She was just like, I can't sleep. So she was like sitting up in her like chair. Well, not in her chair. She had sitting in a chair like in her living room, and she was sleeping in that. So I had brought her a pillow and stuff that I had. Like I had these like really soft pillows. So I told her like, if she can't sleep in her bed, I would bring her something to be comfortable and let me know if there's anything I could do, to help. So she was like drinking insurance stuff. She wasn't really hungry either like that. But she was like drinking insurance stuff like that. So her legs stayed in that state like I think about 2 or 3 days. And then around that Friday, we went up there again we went up there before we went to go see him. And this is right when they went into the hospital. So, we went to go see her, and she was saying how they was, hurting really bad. They was starting to hurt like really, really bad. So, that Friday, he had my granddaddy had already said that he was going to the hospital too, before my aunt did. So she was talking about how they was hurting, and so I told her we'll go get her some compression socks. Like I looked in like Google where you can get compression socks from, and I went to like Walmart to get them, like the one in Ripley. Yeah, I went to the one in Ripley. Of course, my mom was with me, and we went and got her some compression socks. Now, we went and got those. We put them on her, and she said she was feeling better. I iced her leg while I was there. I made sure she had ice on it, rotating it like 30 or 15 minutes. I think that what it was. Like, it was definitely between 30 or 15 minutes. And I was, like I said, changing out the leg that had the ice on her to, relieve her from her pain and give her comfort. So it was like around 4 or something that we left that Friday. Then we went to go see my grandfather, and that's when he told us that he felt like he was going to go to the hospital. So, like I said, by that time we already, was mentally preparing ourselves for, just whatever. Because we had been going, helping him, clean up and stuff. Not that they really need to, but they was just more off their feet. So we was going up helping anyway, we can, So he told us he was going to the hospital, so that next morning was that Saturday. So, Saturday we didn't go to my granddaddy's house first. I don't think, or maybe we did. We went to my aunt's house. Yeah, we went to my aunt's house. I think that early Saturday. Yeah, I don't know. Like, all of this is kind of like I'm remembering certain parts, but it's just like I'm also trying to pull myself back from getting emotional. So bear with me if something is out of place or not making any sense. So, like I said, we went to my aunt's house first that Saturday, because she had called and she said like she had these blisters on her legs, which she did. They was like the size of an egg or like a golf ball. Like the fluid they had made, like little water filled, like, areas, like little pimples to say. I don't know, how anybody, tolerance is. I don't want to, ruin anybody's mood or whatever. So she had those, and she had took the compression off. She said she was able to sleep with the compression socks on. She took them off. She said they was getting too tight. And she wanted to let her leg breathe. She still did the ice. So when we got there, we seen those, and we really didn't say anything, but we were just like, this is really, really bad. So, this is really, really bad. So we was, trying to keep calm for her sake. So, my cousins, her daughter and her son, her daughter got back for work, and she took her to the hospital. We stayed there until she got back, and she took her to the hospital, and we said, I wanted to go then, but we went to go see my granddaddy to see how he was doing. Luckily, he was still at his house. Like I said, he had already told us he was going to the hospital, so we went to go see him. So, then we went to go see him again, and he was just like, yeah, he doing okay, but, he wasn't, both trying to keep a brave face. So we stopped with him, and then we left there. I think maybe something after sunrise, or not sunrise, sunset, like maybe 7 or like 8 o'clock that night. So the next morning is Sunday. So Sunday gets here and we go stay with my aunts in the hospital because my granddad was in the hospital in Germantown, and I don't really know how to drive like that. So I mean, I do know how to drive, but I just ain't never drove in like the cities or nothing like that. Although I was driving there, it was just like I was driving like through back roads, so it was just like, you know. So we called him and he was like he was doing good and stuff like that. So okay, yeah, that's right, because we wasn't there Saturday. I was thinking about when we got to the hospital to see my aunt, but I forgot we wasn't there Saturday. So Saturday, my cousin told me, told both of us that my aunt, she was up Saturday, because we went to see her, and we was there. Maybe that was Saturday. I think this happened on the same day, and maybe I'm getting the days mixed up, y'all, because I'm really trying to recounter everything, but it's just like it's really making, of course, you know, it's real, but it's just like really, really putting it into like perspective that all of this has happened. So let me just say, I think all of this happened the same Saturday, and everything else had to happen from Thursday to Friday. This is Saturday. So we went to see her while she was up, because she was in the ICU at first. When she went to the hospital, she was in the ICU. So she was still up, but she couldn't talk. Like, she was going in and out of conscious, but she couldn't talk. But she was present, you know, her eyes was open and stuff, and she knew, you know, they was talking to her and stuff like that. But she couldn't talk, because at that point they had her on the defibrillator, and they had her on the defibrillator, and they had an IV in her, you know, standard procedure. And I think, so a little interjection. Remember I told y'all she had those fluid deposits, they end up bursting when they got to the hospital, and a little bit before they got to the hospital. So that was going, and all of it had moved. Well, not yet. They didn't even move, not yet. So we were all there. Everybody, by that time, they was already talking. You know, the staff had came and told us that it's like only a matter of time, because at that point they had cut like a little piece of her lung off to run diagnostics on that, and they sent that off, and they said she wouldn't be able to move to go anywhere else because she wasn't in stable conditions, so it wouldn't be best to move her. So everybody, you know, was coming and visiting her and seeing her then. And then they had already said it's probably, you know, close to our time of passing. So after then, now we on Sunday, because we just went home. I think we went home. Yeah, we went home Sunday. My granddaddy called. He asked, how he was doing and checking in and stuff, letting us know that he was okay, which obviously he wasn't. And I don't really want to be repetitive, y'all. Like I said, I'm trying to get this out for y'all and explain, everything that was going on. For the ones that don't know, what happened. So we ended up telling him that she was in the hospital too, and he was like, well, he was sorry to hear that and stuff like that, And he was just like, I hope she gets better. And he told us, he was like, the doctor said he was doing fine, which, he wasn't. So Sunday. So Sunday, we pack up some clothes, go to stay at the hospital. Like I said in my Q&A video about like who was like my anchors and who were like my people that I look up to and who's just really there for me, I'll stay with those two people. So it's way more harder. Like it feels like I lost my grandmother, my mom, who I've been mentioning. She's the only person I got left. So it was that serious on, of course, it's serious, but it was that real because I was really close with them. So it really just, so we had, like I said, we got our stuff, we headed back to the hospital, and I told my grandma I wanted to stay because with my mom, her and my aunts, they, when their mother was sick, which is my great grandmother, when she was sick, they stayed with her. But on the day that she passed, my aunt was taking my aunt home, and she didn't get to stay with her when she passed. So I wanted to at least be there, when the time came, because she was like a second mother to me. She was everything to me. And then what's so crazy and so kind of harsh about this is that my other grandmother, she died the year before, same time in June. So it was just a fresh loss, a year apart. So I imagine when my mom felt like two of her sisters died less than a year apart, same time. Now she lost her friend, and it's just like so much going on. So yeah, I was like, I wanted to stay with her. I didn't want to leave her. I didn't want to leave her, and I wanted to be there. I'm sorry, y'all. So I was like, I want to be there. Basically, that's it. I basically wanted to be there. So we stayed there. Then more people started coming, and she was, at this time, they said she was up Saturday when we left. But that's when she went into like the coma. And the last thing she asked for were cheese and crackers and a Sprite. And that was her favorite, thing to eat. She loved her Sprite, she loved her some cheese, and she loved her some crackers. So she was at peace with, her last meal. So she was in a coma from that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then finally that Wednesday. By that time, they had already, told us to call everybody and let them know if they hadn't come and seen her, that it was the time to come down. We didn't know that it would be that soon as it was. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday. No, it was Monday. Monday, they said we stayed every day from Saturday. No, we stayed every day from We stayed every day from Friday. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting my words mixed up. We stayed everywhere from Sunday to um, Tuesday. We ended up leaving Tuesday. We didn't stay the night Tuesday. We went back home Tuesday. Because it was a couple of days that we stayed. So I think that Monday they told us that Monday night or Tuesday morning they told us that it wasn't much time, she can go at any minute, but they wasn't expecting it to be that soon. So they was like she was a real fighter, and she was really strong and stuff like that. But she was a very strong-willed person, a compassionate person. Like, she did not play around. She didn't care what she said or how she said it. She was gonna tell you like it was, and she was not the one to play about those around her. So that they told us that left Tuesday because, like I said before, I didn't want to leave her, knowing that, and then too with the bond that we had, I didn't want to leave her. But my mom, she was like she wanted to come back home, and I understood it. It was kind of selfishly too. We ended up coming back home Tuesday evening, or like that yeah, we came back like Tuesday evening. So I understood how hard it was for her to, so we ended up coming back home. But when I tell y'all, I bawled tears so much, like I broke down that morning. Like I just couldn't stop crying all that day. Like every day I was already sad and stuff, but Tuesday I was in shambles. So we come home Tuesday night, get up, we come back Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. We come back Wednesday. We stay from the morning till night. We was getting ready, to stay again for however long it was. Because the last person that in our family who didn't see her, well, who needed to see her, and cared to see her, they came, and we ended up coming after them. We stayed there from, I think it was like 9 or 10 that morning is when we got back to the hospital, to 4 o'clock. Well, really, it was to her death time. So they had told us around, I think, 3 or 2, that all of her blood, it was any time now. Because when the nurse pulled back, to check her leg, and veins had turned black. So she was just like, it could be any time now. So we were just sitting there. By the hour 2 past 4 something, 15 minutes to 5, so it's 4:45 is when she passed away. No noise, no struggle. They had gave her I forgot what it's called, but it's supposed to help her breathe without pain, like not the gargling sounds and stuff like that, like just to relieve her pain. So they had already gave her that, and when we looked around, she just laid there, gone. And it was so hard to see. I never, of course, you know, I said before of course, they live their life day and they never do it, but I never would have thought I would have seen that day soon. Like, I knew I was gonna have it hard with them, and I know I would have it, you know, hard with my mom. Lord, hopefully she don't go anytime soon. But I never thought it would be as hard as that, and especially with us men, I never would have thought it would be that hard to experience something like that. I literally ran out the room, went downstairs. It was like people coming in and out. I know they probably was looking at me like, that boy is crazy, like, or something like that. I don't know. At that moment, I didn't care. I broke down right there in front of the entrance, and I literally was just like, just broken completely. Like, I completely broke down. Like, I just couldn't do nothing but cry. Then, you know, the rest of that, preparing for the funeral. Then, you wouldn't believe the news I get the next day, Thursday, right? My grandfather had told my grandma that Tuesday, or maybe it was the same day, that same morning. Nope, it was the same morning, Wednesday. He said, hopefully, we called him and we let him know, and he said he was doing good. He was talking. He didn't sound, yes, he did. He did sound bad, but he said hopefully he can be better enough to get to go to my aunt's funeral. The next morning is when my uncle comes and tells me, what tells us, you know, he didn't want to call us over the phone and tell us. But my granddaddy passed away at 4 o'clock that morning, Thursday. So they literally died 12 hours apart. So it's just like I was already grieving, or not even just grieving. I just had my aunt die, now I had my grandfather die. So it was just like so much going on. So it was just a lot to take in. So that was that. And then a couple of days later, because she died on the 25th of June, he died on the 26th of June. So around like the 1st, we were going like shopping. Well, I didn't really want to go shopping, but my mom wanted to go shopping first on the way to the funeral. On our way back from, you know what, this video is already long. I'll make a separate video to go in detail about that. But we ended up getting into the accident around that time. So that's what happened on that. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. That's where I've been. I've been trying to grieve. 1 minute I think I'm half grieved, the other minute I don't process it. But I know they would want me to, you know, fit in it, and I know they would want me to do great things, and I know they were proud of me, and I know I did the best I could for them. So don't think that my emotions is me, you know, guilting myself, because I know I was there for them. I was there for them. If I can't say I was there for nobody else, or nobody else can say I was there for them, they knew, and I know I was there for them to the end. So yeah, it's just like missing that other half of you to say the same, like that safe space. I know I still have my mom, and that's like my literal best friend. Y'all can see the character. The one who's really like inspired everything about me. I still have her, which I'm so grateful for, because God knows that would have been so much. Is especially with what happened. The rest. So yeah. So like I said before, that's the end of this video. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm not gonna say I enjoyed the video, found something to, enjoy or take from it. I don't have any encouraging words for this video. So yeah, stay blessed, and I'll see y'all in the next video, which is coming up soon. So until next time, peace out. Bye. I love you all.